ginger. Ginger is one of the best anti-inflammatory herbs that we have. Probably on equal to it, especially internally, would be turmeric. And earlier in the week I talked about taking high-dose turmeric, say capsules, as an anti-inflammatory if someone has inflammation in the body. And we've had some great results with that. But what I want to show you tonight is how you can use the fresh ginger. Now you can use the fresh ginger internally and externally. Internally you can grate it on a very fine grater, and then you put it in a little teapot, pour boiling water with it, and it makes a delicious ginger tea. Now that ginger tea can be given to someone regularly if they do have inflammation. I guess the beauty of taking the turmeric capsules, you can get really high dose at once. You can also give it to a person if they're cold. Now, so internally it can be used to warm up the body, it can be used to reduce inflammation, and it can also be used to settle the stomach. If someone has nausea, upset stomach, you give them a ginger tea and it will relieve their nausea. It can be great if a woman's having morning sickness, but you might all like to know this very important point. Morning sickness is a magnesium deficiency. And some women suffer for months and months. So all they need to do is get magnesium. Take even 4 doses a day. So morning sickness is a magnesium deficiency. Meanwhile, waiting for the magnesium to kick in, which should kick in fairly quickly, you can give them some ginger tea to relieve the nausea. So that's how you can use it internally, and you can use it externally. Now where ginger is particularly helpful is in joint inflammation. Now in a minute we're going to look at another vegetable that you can use for tissue inflammation, but this is specifically joint inflammation. So this will be, say, a sore lower back. It can be arthritic pain. It can be arthritic pain or gout pain. It can be used for any inflammation in the joint area. And how you make it is you would get a cloth, or you can get a chucks, and what I do is I fold over Glad wrap a few times, and then I put that down and put the cloth on that, and then you grate it. I don't peel it. If it's dirty, you'll need to wash it. And then you grate it on a fine grater, and this is also a great way to do the ginger tea. One of my favourite recipes for breakfast, which I might have about once a week, is scrambled tofu. And I crumble up the tofu, and I've got a grater that's got a handle and then a really little grater handle, and I just put it over the saucepan and I grate the ginger and the garlic straight in. I put some turmeric, oil, salt and herbs, and it's delicious. So of course you can use ginger in all your cooking. It's great in your legume dishes. I know that Indian cooking use it a lot in their dals, and it can also help with the digestion of the legumes. But as I showed you earlier in the week, most people don't rinse their legumes enough. You've just got to remember that the water you cook the legumes in is dirty water, and that has to be washed away. So you spread it out. Now I'm just saying, let's say this is for a sore lower back, and a lot of people have sore lower backs. And what we have to do is we have to listen to our body. If you're doing something and your back's a little bit sore, you've got to stop. Many backs get sore because people keep doing things when the body says stop. And a lot of people don't lift things with their thighs. You should never lift with your back. You should lift with your thighs. So if your back is straight and your knees are bent, you will lift with your thighs. So you've got to look after those backs. So what I'm going to do now, and I'll do it up here so you can see, I'm going to pull one side over and then pull the other side over. I just need a few more pairs of hands here. So what I have done is I've made a little parcel, you see that? And the area that only has one layer is the area that's going to go on the sore knee or the sore elbow or the sore wrist or the sore back. And notice when I make my poultice, I've got about 1 centimetre all the way round of plastic. And that will just help so that the moist ginger juice isn't going to soil the sheets or the clothes or whatever. And then Amelia, could you come up and I'll demonstrate on Amelia how I'll put it. Let's say Amelia has got a sore elbow. Okay? So let's say her joint here is sore. I'll put it on like this and then I'll wrap it on with a bandage. Now what will happen is if there's inflammation in that joint, now you make sure you don't have it too tight to strangle the limb, and you also don't have it too loose so that it'll fall off. It's very important that you take a lot of effort to make sure that poultice is well covered with the plastic and it's bandaged on properly, because there's no fun bandages falling off, poultices getting all through the bed. There's no fun at all. So let's say Amelia's got a sore elbow. Maybe it's burst.